Alright, here we are at J-Tech and we're talking about power flow. So here you have your gear set and your power flow comes through your input shaft, which is going into your engine flywheel, and then you got your output shaft that's going out the transmission, out to the final drive assembly, differential. So and here we have the gears. We talked about gear ratio already, and so you have to understand the gear ratio to be able to understand power flow. So the torque goes through the torque converter. Torque is coming through the input shaft and going to first gear, which is back here. So you have first gear, and I have some values here. So if you have 200 pounds of torque, and I have the ratios for these gears already. So if you have 200 foot-pounds of torque, the power will go through to first gear, and at first gear it's going to multiply to 583 foot-pounds of torque. As the gear goes higher, the torque will decrease. And so you'll have first gear, the power flows coming through up to the first gear, down to the counter shaft, and out the output to your final drive assembly. Should be your differential, your drive shaft. Now when you got torque going through your input to your second gear, which will be right second gear here, same thing is going to happen. You'll have a smaller ratio, and your torque will now come through the input shaft to the second gear, down to the counter shaft, second gear, and out the output shaft. And that's pretty much what the numbers will look like if you do the math. So when you shift, the shift fork will engage into the gear and lock in with these locking synchronizers here. It'll engage, and that's when the torque will come through to the gear, down to the counter shaft, out the output shaft to move your wheels. Fourth gear is always going to be 1-to-1, and then you have your reverse gear. With an idler gear, it'll always be straight cut rather than helical. This will be your reverse gear, and overdrive or fifth be on the back. And that's power flow.